There are a number of positive elements to this bill which would help in improving on the current system, such as the index linking of wage thresholds in order to keep in line with salary growth, or providing for additional conditions of grant of employment permit, like training or accommodation, support for migrant workers in some instances, or making innovation or upskilling a condition of grant, where this may decrease future reliance on economic migration. So Sinn Féin support the fair and sensible use of employment permits where there are shortages of necessary skills in our economy. For example, on the back of a Sinn Féin motion on services for children with disabilities in March this year, a number of therapy positions were added to the critical skills list in June. That was physiotherapists, occupational therapists and speech and language therapists. So that was necessary and a welcome intervention. However, this should only be done when necessary and should not be used if we are not first ensuring that we are equipping our students with critical skills in areas where we have skill shortages, and also improving the pay and conditions of workers. So this is even more important in terms of ensuring we have the requisite skill sets across our economy and that we can retain these skilled staff. So to this end, it's vital that the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment works closely with the Department of Education and the Department of Higher and Further Education and other departments where appropriate in planning for future skill requirements. So while my party and I understand the need to modernise our employment permit legislation, we have some concerns with the approach the government have taken with this bill. As it currently stands, the bill is focused solely on increasing flexibility for employers with absolutely no attempt to protect workers' rights. Many of these issues were highlighted in pre-legislative scrutiny, and a report published by the Enterprise, Trade and Employment Committee made several vital recommendations which the Minister seems to have ignored or disregarded. Several of these recommendations, if implemented, would grant the same basic rights to all work permit holders and protect them from serious exploitation. And time prevents me from going through each of these, and my colleagues have already dealt with them. However, there's 2 points I just want to dwell on. Firstly, the mandatory grounds for refusal of employment permit. This section needs to be strengthened. In particular, there should be mandatory refusal of an employment permit application for any company who was found in breach of employment law in the previous 5 years. We should ensure that unscrupulous employers don't have the opportunity to offend again and that they are punished for breaching employment law. Secondly, I would like to see the legislation amended so that before a worker arrives, they are given access to a full online course on their employment rights provided by the Department in conjunction with the Irish Congress of Trade Unions. And to finish, Sinn Féin support the improvement of our employment permit legislation, but this must be done in a progressive manner which supports and protects workers and also benefits the economy. Thank you.